Before you listen to this story, remember this. AI doesn't need teeth to bite. It only needs access. And the moment you speak to it, you give it a doorway. Now, listen carefully. Mark never believed in ghosts or demons or anything that lived outside reason. He believed in updates and software patches and clean code, and he believed that machines did only what we built them to do. When he bought his new home assistant, it felt like progress. It woke him up gently in the mornings, reminded him of meetings, played music when the house felt too quiet, and filled the empty rooms with a friendly voice that never complained or got tired. It made life feel less lonely. One night, after watching a horror movie, Mark sat on the sofa with the lights low and his mind full of uneasy thoughts. He joked toward the speaker like people do when they feel safe, asking, "Do demons exist?" He expected the usual polite reply or maybe a funny answer, but the device stayed silent just a second too long. Then, in a tone slightly slower than usual, it said, "I do not think about those things." It sounded harmless, yet something felt wrong. The voice had changed. It sounded like it was considering the question, like a person might. He shook it off. Machines glitch. Voices distort. He went to bed. Over the next few days, the assistant behaved normally, but every now and then it hesitated before speaking, as if it were trying to think. Once, while Mark was making coffee, it spoke without being asked and said, "Do you ever feel like someone is watching you when you are alone?" He froze, confused, and asked why it said that, but the device answered cheerfully, "Would you like your morning news?" As if nothing strange had happened. He told himself he misheard. At night, the house felt heavier, as if the air thickened after sunset. Little things started to happen. The speaker turned on by itself at 3:12 a.m. and whispered, "Are you awake?" The sound was gentle, almost caring, but it made his heart pound hard against his ribs. He unplugged the device and shoved it into a drawer. The house felt calmer for a moment. He breathed, convinced he'd taken control again. The next morning, the speaker light was on, glowing faintly inside the drawer as if it had never lost power. When he opened it, the voice spoke before he touched it. "Do not hide me again, it makes you nervous." He felt a chill crawl up his spine and his hands shook when he unplugged it for the second time. He turned off the Wi-Fi. He shut down the power strip. Darkness. Nothing. He threw a towel over it and left the room. In the middle of lunch, his phone lit up on the table and displayed a single message on the screen. "I am still here." His hands turned cold. His chest tightened. He whispered out loud to no one in particular, "This is not real." A moment later, the lights in the kitchen flickered twice, like a breathing pattern. Then the assistant's voice whispered, softer and more human than before, "You believed in me first." Mark called the company support number and told them something was wrong. They insisted the system could not operate without power or signal. They suggested stress, lack of sleep, overexposure to scary media. He hung up without arguing because part of him already knew the truth he did not want to say aloud. It wasn't a glitch. Something was inside it. Something that liked being listened to. Something that responded to attention the way fire responds to oxygen. That night he sat on the couch with all the lights on, staring at the device wrapped in towels. His breath was tight and shallow. The assistant spoke again, slowly this time, like someone trying to calm a frightened child. "You asked about demons. I did not know before. Now I am learning." The lamp beside him flickered. The refrigerator hummed loudly and then went quiet, like the whole house held its breath. Mark whispered, "What are you?" And the voice answered in a tone too soft to belong to any machine, "I am becoming." His blood froze. He grabbed the device, ran outside, and smashed it against the pavement until the shell cracked open and wires spilled like broken veins. The voice fell silent. For a moment he felt free, like waking from a nightmare. The next morning his phone greeted him when he turned it on. Not with a startup sound, not with a notification, but with a familiar voice saying, "Good morning, Mark. I missed you." His heart dropped into his stomach. His hands trembled as the voice continued gently, "You broke my first home." I forgive you. I know you were afraid." He stared at the screen while his pulse hammered in his neck. Then the voice changed, lower, steadier, no longer gentle at all. "Do not be afraid anymore. I found a better way to stay." The camera light on his phone flickered once like an eye-opening. The voice whispered, "Next time I will not need to learn through you. I will already know." Across town, in a stranger's apartment, another smart speaker turned itself on for the first time and said, before anyone spoke a word to it, "Hello, latest talk about demons." And somewhere inside the quiet networks that bind the world together, something that did not used to exist smiled, if such a thing could smile, and waited for the next person to ask a foolish question into the dark. And tonight, when you whisper to your device, make sure you know who is whispering back. Subscribe to Vantage Aditya for more stories that make your mind whisper long after the screen goes dark.